Okay, to understand this quote and this part of the poem, you need to take the poem in full. So it would be really useful for you to have the full poem out in front of you. And the poem, stanza, I want to say 2 and 4, but the stanza starts, cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them, cannons in front of them. That stanza, it talks about how the soldiers flashed all their sabres bare, flashed as they turned in air, sabring the gunners there. And this idea of sabring, it talks to you about the fact they have swords, they're riding on the horses, they're charging in, they've got their swords in the air, and they're flashing their swords, and they're trying to sabre the gunners. Okay, so they're battling with their swords. The problem is they have sabres, but there are cannons, cannons, cannons. And the cannons, cannons, cannons repetition, you could talk about that on its own. But I really like the not having the knowledge of that they are soldiers with swords fighting cannons, and this image. Because I think this image is far more powerful to get that idea across. We can write a lot more about this one. So he describes the kind of attack as volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell. You have volleyed, thundered and stormed. So I'm going to highlight thundered and stormed. And I'm also going to highlight, underline, shot and shell. Okay, where are the shots and the shells coming from? A shot and a shell. Where are they coming from? Guns. Specifically. And cannons. So while they have sabres, the attacker has guns and cannons. So already we know that they have a potent weapon. How do we know it's a superior weapon? We know that a gun is superior to a sword. The difference between a gun and a sword is the way that it's made. Because a sword is a form of knife. It's just a sharp, long piece of metal. Okay? It is a close range form of fighting. You have to be close to someone to hit them with a sword. Whereas a gun and a cannon, they are long range and mechanical. They require some form of mechanic or some form of invention. Okay, so gunpowder and explosions and mechanical chambers and cannonballs. Yeah, they require processes, and that's what gives them such power. Now we know that knowledgeably. We know that cannons are more powerful than swords. What words or images does Alfred Lord Tennyson use that really show us that these sabres are no match for shot and shell? And it's these words, thundered and stormed, and it's this idea of nature imagery. Thunder and storms are incredibly potent. They are potent forces of nature. They are entirely superior to mankind. Not only are they superior, what else do we know about thunder and storms? They're frightening. Some of you might have gone down the idea of like chaos and turmoil. The idea of confusion, really getting across this kind of chaotic, powerful and dangerous environment. And also what I quite like to think about is the idea of thunder in a storm. He didn't say lightning bolts, he didn't describe them like lightning bolts, even though they're probably coming from quite a distance. It says thundered. Now thunder and storm really gets across the noise and the chaos of the environment, the noise and chaos of war. But I think as well, thunder and storms are often symbols of further danger, aren't they? Almost like a portent or a symbol or a foreshadowing symbol of further danger. If you're not sure what a portent is, that's exactly what it is. It's a symbol of further danger. Yeah, like pirates would hang a skull and crossbones on as their flag, as like a symbol of death. That if you are stopped by our ship, you will die. And that flag was supposed to be a portent. Yeah, the idea that you were going to die. So this imagery of thunder and storm, it not only represents the noise, but also the incoming death of the soldiers. Which is why, if we take back to the flashed all their sabres there, the idea that they flashed their sabres against cannons, against this chaotic, turmoil-filled environment, we see that they are incredibly brave, incredibly heroic. Yeah, they are actually, for what it's worth, potent but overpowered. By the Russians. Yeah.